Welcome, brave souls. Tonight you will discover the forgotten secrets of a box never meant to be opened. Beware, for what lies within may haunt your very thoughts. Are you prepared to witness the curse unfold? Stay close, for once we begin, there is no turning back.
It was a chilly Wednesday evening, and the wind rattled the windows of my apartment as I settled down with a cup of coffee. Just as I began to relax, a single knock echoed through the hallway. Opening the door cautiously, I found no one there, only a small, weathered box sitting alone on the doorstep. There was no return address, just my name scrawled across the top in unsteady handwriting that seemed rushed, almost as if written in panic. I hadn't ordered anything recently, which made the sudden arrival even stranger. For a moment, I debated whether I should open it at all. Despite my hesitation, curiosity won. I brought the box inside, feeling its unexpected weight. It was heavier than it appeared, as if something important, or dangerous, was sealed inside. My hands felt uneasy as I grabbed a knife and cut the tape. As I peeled open the flaps, a musty odor wafted from within. Inside was an old, intricately carved wooden box, darker than night and cold to the touch. The wood felt ancient, as if it had a long, forgotten history. Something about it seemed off. There was no note, no explanation. Just the box. The carvings were strange, symbols I didn't recognize, yet something about them seemed disturbingly familiar. I ran my fingers across the patterns, feeling a strange energy pulsing beneath the surface. I debated whether I should open it or leave it shut. My gut told me to leave it alone, but there was something compelling, almost magnetic, about the way it seemed to call to me. It felt like I had to know what was inside, as if my fate depended on it. Ignoring the growing unease in my chest, I slowly opened the lid. The creaking sound it made sent shivers down my spine. Inside was an envelope, yellowed with age, and something wrapped tightly in black cloth. That's when I felt the first chill run down my spine, as if I had just unlocked something far more sinister than I could have ever imagined. My hands trembled as I pulled out the envelope. The paper was brittle, like it had been forgotten for decades. On the front, in faded ink, were the words, "Do not open the box." My heart raced. For a moment, I thought it was a joke, a prank. But there was something unsettling about the way those words were written, like a warning from another time. Still, the black cloth bundle beneath it captured my attention more than the letter. I unwrapped the cloth slowly, revealing a small object inside. It was a key, old and rusted, but undeniably significant. I wondered what it could possibly unlock, and why someone had gone through such trouble to hide it. The letter inside seemed to scream at me. I opened it cautiously. The writing was erratic, as though written by someone in distress. "To whoever finds this box, do not turn the key. There are things you cannot undo." A cold sweat broke out on my forehead. I could almost hear a whisper in the air, but I shook it off as nerves. I tried to think rationally. Why would someone send me this? Why me, of all people? The box seemed to radiate an unsettling energy now. My apartment felt darker, like the shadows were stretching longer than usual. My instincts told me to get rid of it, but something deeper told me to stay curious. I was already in too deep. I decided to investigate the carvings on the box. Maybe they held a clue. As I ran my fingers along the strange symbols again, my breath hitched. I felt something, or someone, watching me. Sleep didn't come easily that night. I tossed and turned, my mind racing with questions about the box and the warning. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the symbols carved into the wood, almost like they were burned into my memory. Around midnight, I woke to a strange noise. It was faint, like a soft scratching sound. It seemed to be coming from the box. My heart pounded in my chest as I stared at it in the dim light, the key still sitting beside it. Against my better judgment, I reached for the key. It felt colder now, almost as if it had absorbed the temperature of the room. My fingers hovered over the lock. I shouldn't open it, I thought, but something inside me urged me on. I inserted the key and turned it slowly. The mechanism clicked, sending a strange vibration through the box and into the air around me. It was then that I heard it. a low, guttural whisper that seemed to rise from inside the box. The lid began to creak open on its own, as if something within had been waiting for me. A chill ran down my spine. The room grew unnaturally cold, and I felt the unmistakable sensation of being watched. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. Inside, there was something far more disturbing than I could have imagined. A small mirror, old and tarnished, lay at the bottom. But as I looked closer, I realized that the reflection wasn't my own. Something, or someone, was staring back at me. I slammed the box shut, my heart racing. What had I just seen? The whispering grew louder now, but the source wasn't clear. The air felt heavier, suffocating, and I realized with horror that I had unleashed something that wasn't meant to be freed. From that moment on, things were never the same. Shadows seemed to move on their own in my apartment, and every time I turned my back, I could feel something watching me from the corner of the room. I tried to ignore it, convincing myself it was all in my head, but the signs became undeniable. Lights flickered, objects moved, and there was always that whispering, constant, insistent, growing louder each night. One evening, as I sat in my living room, the box slid off the table by itself. It crashed to the floor, and the mirror inside shattered into pieces. My heart sank as I realized that I had no control over whatever I had let out. That night, I dreamed of the carvings again. Only this time, they were glowing with a dark light, pulsing like a heartbeat. In my dream, I heard voices, distant and cold, telling me to look into the mirror again. I awoke in a cold sweat, the whispers now clear as day. They were speaking my name, beckoning me to the box. It was open, and the shards of the broken mirror reflected shadows that didn't match anything in the room. I knew I had to do something. I couldn't live like this anymore. I searched for answers, anything that could explain what I had unleashed. But every lead pointed to the same conclusion. The box wasn't cursed. I was. Desperation took over. I tried to destroy the box, but no matter what I did, it wouldn't burn, break, or even scratch. The only thing left to do was confront whatever was inside and hope I could find a way to put it back. I sat in front of the box, trembling, the key still in my hand. I knew this would be my last chance. Whatever had been released, it needed to be contained. I turned the key again and the lid opened slowly like it had been expecting me. The broken mirror inside seemed to shimmer, even in the dim light. But this time the reflection was clear. A dark figure, its face twisted and hollow, stood where my reflection should have been, watching me with empty eyes. The whispering became deafening. My name, over and over again, filled the room. I felt its presence behind me, closer than ever before. My body froze as cold fingers brushed the back of my neck. I turned slowly, and there it was. The figure from the mirror, standing right behind me, its face inches from mine. Its eyes were empty voids, and its mouth twisted into a grotesque smile. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. The figure leaned closer, whispering in a voice that sent chills through my bones. "You opened the door, and now you belong to me." My heart raced, but I couldn't do anything. I was trapped, paralyzed by fear. With all the strength I had left, I grabbed the mirror's shards and held one up to the figure's face. The reflection flickered, and for a brief moment the figure seemed to recoil. But then it smiled again, wider this time, as if mocking my last attempt to fight. The room grew darker, and the last thing I saw was the figure reaching for me. The box snapped shut on its own, sealing whatever remained of me inside, trapped in the endless darkness. I had become the next victim of the curse.
The story may have ended, but nightmares have a way of clinging to you, following you into the dark. Tonight, when the shadows lengthen and you feel that creeping dread, remember, some nightmares don't end when you wake up. If this story left you uneasy and you crave more terror, hit the like and subscribe button. The real nightmare is only just beginning.